Are you ready to do this? What is up, everybody? Welcome back into the Den of Nerds. I am Josh, and we have a lot to discuss on today's show. I thought it would be a good opportunity, a good time for us to think about the future, for us to look forward, to look ahead to what we can expect from the rest of the year, especially if you're a big Marvel fan. And a lot of us over here, we are just big Marvel fans. And I think, coming out of Captain America Brave New World, the movie, kind of hitting fans differently. Some people really liking it. Some people really not liking it. A lot of discussions have sort of kicked back up with regards to Marvel Studios. So I felt like what we should do today is to look ahead. Look at what's actually coming. How is the rest of the year looking? Are we cooked? Is it going to be awesome? Is there a We're So Back somewhere in the middle of all of this? It's so over. I think so. And I want to break that down and go over that with you. I also wanted to discuss Avengers Doomsday. This movie's a year away about, and we don't exactly even know who the Avengers are. And I think for a lot of fans, there's concern that there's no plan here, that we have no idea how these things are going to tie together. What is the deal with Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four? How is that all going to set the movie up? I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I also have incredible news when it comes to Daredevil Born Again. Really cool information out there when it's going to drop, what episodes are dropping when. A lot of really exciting stuff when it comes to Daredevil Born Again. I think this is going to be awesome. And for the community, it's going to be sick as hell. We're getting back to watch parties, which I'll talk more about when we get to that section of the video. And then I also have a Star Wars story today. I know, a Star Wars story, but this one, there's not like a ton to it, okay? But it is potentially one of my favorite Star Wars stories to come out within the past couple of years. And I try not to get hyperbolic over here, right? Far be it from me to get overly excited and hyped up like a total fanboy about something. But I'm just going to say it. If this is real, I think it could save Star Wars. That's right. I said it. I think it could save Star Wars. So we'll get there. We'll get there later on in this stream. I want to thank you for joining me. If you're joining live, what is up? I see you guys in the chat over on YouTube. I see you in the chat over on Twitch, or at least I better get Twitch pulled up or they're going to get all mad. Thank you very much for everybody that's watching live. And thank you if you are listening to this on the podcast feed. Because of the new format and because of us putting this up on podcast feed, we're going to mostly talk about just the news and the subjects, and then we'll break into Q&A later in the show where I will go over your questions, your super chats, your member chats, and just in general, the conversation. I want to say Monday's stream and the Q&A from that stream was fantastic. I think Friday's was as well. So sometimes there's like a lot of juice in that section of the podcast and of the show. Frankly, it's really fun. The interaction that we have is great. And it's really cool to see where you guys are at with these different things. And I think it really does add to the conversation. It becomes a conversation. I think it's really good. So we'll definitely get into that later on in the show. As far as show notes are concerned, tonight we are doing another members-only stream. That'll be at 7:30 p.m. And tonight, we're just going to play some more Marvel Rivals as a community, man. Marvel Rivals is absolutely killing it out there. They're crushing it. And they have a lot of cool stuff that's happening right now with the game. A bunch of balancing things that have happened. Certain characters are buffed. Certain characters are nerfed. And I believe on Friday, on the 21st, I believe they will be releasing both Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, the Thing. And man, do they look cool. It's kind of I'm excited for the Fantastic Four movie. I think it looks dope. But the characters and rivals for the Fantastic Four literally have more aura than the MCU counterparts. It's insane. It's crazy. I don't know why this keeps happening. Marvel Rivals, incredibly successful game, doing big things to help the Marvel brand. And I'm loving it. So tonight, we're going to play a little more Marvel Rivals as a community. Come on by for that, 7:30 in the evening. Other than that, it should just be a regular rest of the week. I do apologize for missing yesterday. Just had some family stuff going on. Wanted to get caught up on some work and just was untenable with the stuff I had to do. A little bit of dad duty, but it is what it is, and I appreciate everybody's patience. Okay, so let's get into this, man. Let's begin. Let's start talking about Marvel Studios. You know, right now, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I've seen this, and I would assume many of you have. A lot of us watch a lot of the same YouTube channels. We're hanging out in the same Discords, hanging out in the same communities. I've seen a lot of people talk about the current state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and frankly, I think, for better or worse, Captain America, Brave New World, has sort of kicked back up a lot of conversations, a lot of negativity, a lot of concern from the fans. You think that's fair to say, chat? Is that fair to say? How are you feeling? Do you feel the same way? Are you concerned? Are you one of these fans that's not concerned at all? Would love to know what you're thinking, so let me know in the chat. But I've certainly witnessed a lot of fans concerned, and I've felt the entire fandom kind of dip back in to negativity. And I understand it, and I think it's, you know, it's just kind of a season. This is what we're going through in the moment, and yeah, I think Brave New World certainly didn't help anything. I didn't think it was a particularly good movie, and I think even if you like the movie, you have to admit the discourse around it has been, well, it's been crazy. You know, it's been a pretty divided audience, a lot of passion, a lot of toxicity, a lot of energy around it. And so again, yeah, it kind of feels bad, you know, right now. However, the thing that I think is important to keep in mind, and, you know, as I've been watching other people make videos about, you know, why Marvel needs to be worried or concerned, or, you know, top 10 problems Marvel has that they need to fix, etc. Like, I'm seeing a lot of those kind of pieces of content being made. And I totally understand it, because I think it's being made because there is that attitude out in the fan base. And I think that's where a lot of fans are at. But if I'm being honest, if you really just take a step back and think about it, this is probably the worst of it. You know, frankly, at least as far as I'm concerned, I think this is literally the worst of it. I think this is technically the lowest point that we will be at as Marvel fans for the entire year. And I truly, truly believe that. Now, do I wish that we didn't have to be here? Of course. Do I wish that Brave New World was better? Yeah. Do I wish that a lot of Phase 4 had operated better, that there were better plans? You know, potentially even Kang and Jonathan Majors and everything worked out. Of course. Go down the list of things. I obviously wish things were different. So don't get it twisted. It's not like I'm trying to huff on the copium. But I am trying to suggest that this film being what it was, and Marvel being where they are at, it's not actually so surprising. It's not actually so shocking. And much of last year, we had even thought and spoken openly about how this might happen. And I just really believe this. I truly believe that this is the worst place we will be at as a fandom. And I think it's going to start improving in literally 2 weeks. So in the next 2 weeks, Daredevil Born Again drops. I have a whole section that I want to do about the specifics about the Daredevil drop, because it's incredible. We're going to be bringing back watch parties. Oh my God, I'm so excited. It really does feel like a return to form. I mean, chat, when is the last time we actually even did watch parties together as a group? It's been a while. Probably Ahsoka, maybe, right? But those are coming back. I'm excited for that show. And I really think Daredevil, even if it's not quite as popular as certain people think it's going to be, like, I made some wild predictions about Daredevil, that it might be the biggest Disney Plus show ever made, that it might actually be able to compete with things like The Boys and other smash hits out there on the Nielsen charts. So I certainly have talked a big game when it comes to Daredevil and what I think it's capable of. But even if it doesn't quite hit the heights of what I think it can do, I still think most fans are going to really enjoy it. I think it's going to be a smash hit within the fandom, even if it's not a smash hit outside of the fandom. Kind of like X-Men 97. Do you guys remember the vibes of X-Men 97? You know, there were similar issues going on. I think maybe potentially we were even a little bit more shaky because we didn't even know what the answer was to Kang and Doom and what was happening with the Avengers movies. So around the time when X-Men 97 came out, things were pretty shaky. You know, I think we had just come off of Echo, a lot of reasons to be concerned, and all of a sudden X-Men 97 knocks it out of the park. And even though it never charted, even though it was never a massive hit, super big success, for the fandom itself, it was lifeblood, baby. It was a shot in the arm. It was adrenaline. It was exactly what we needed. I think Daredevil Born Again is going to do the same thing, and I actually think it's going to do it a little bit better, like a little bit stronger, have more mass appeal, have more actual minutes of content, have more stuff to discuss. I think it's going to be really, really good, guys. And again, I have a whole section later on in the show as far as why, but it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks till Daredevil. And you might have noticed they have actually started to rocket up the promotion. A new clip came out earlier today. We'll break that down. It looks fantastic as opposed to what was happening with the Captain America ones, where the trailers and the TV spots looked awesome, but then they showed the clips and we were all like, whoa, what is this movie? Daredevil, when they showed the clips, we're like, damn, this looks incredible. So they've been ramping up the promotion. And I frankly think Marvel was aware that Brave New World was weak. I think they knew the fans might turn on it. I think they knew the press could turn on it. I think they knew the critics could turn on it. And I think they chose wisely, actually, when to put this movie out. And even though it feels kind of bad right now, it doesn't have a lot of competition, and Daredevil's right around the corner, okay? Now, towards the end of Daredevil, because Daredevil has kind of an interesting release schedule, it's going to release a lot in March. Like a lot in March. It begins with 2 episodes. One of them's an hour. One of them's 47 minutes. It's possible the other episodes are shorter, but I think they're going to be all around that length. And then in the last week of March, they're dropping 2 episodes. So, again, we'll get into the specifics about that. But there's a lot of Daredevil coming in March. I believe there will still be a couple of episodes that happen in the following month. And then we will begin to get ready for Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is basically the next big thing after Daredevil Born Again. And Thunderbolts really looks awesome. It was weird to discuss Thunderbolts even last year when the first trailer came out and it looked way better than Brave New World. And we were all like, wow, that's kind of incredible. Really didn't expect this, but I'm quite enjoying the aesthetic of the movie. The characters seem really fun together. The action seems really sharp. It seems funny, but not corny. This looks really cool. And then the Super Bowl trailer with Sentry and the Void gives it this very dark, very harsh, crazy edge. And I think that's really fun. So I think, if you think about what the experience was like of covering Brave New World, of hearing about the promotion and everything, just not a great experience. A lot of negativity, leaks that it was lame, etc. Well, now we're about to get into Daredevil territory. All the buzz around that seems incredible. And, it did this crazy creative overhaul. A lot to talk about there, a lot of positive stuff. And then you have Thunderbolts, and that also feels incredibly positive, like so much more positive than it was for Brave New World. The Sentry seems like it's going to be dope. The movie seems fire. And all the buzz, right? Like the same sense-making apparatus that we had that was telling us that Brave New World was probably not going to be great. That same apparatus is saying that Thunderbolts is fire. Marvel's very pleased with Thunderbolts. The beef creators seem to have really knocked it out of the park. Thunderbolts is going to be lit, dude. So I'm quite excited to focus more of the coverage, the content, and get excited to see Thunderbolts. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I will like Thunderbolts way more than I liked Brave New World. And I'll probably be singing its praises. So, hopefully just a better overall vibe as we were to experience that movie and, get excited from there. But even if Thunderbolts kind of just does okay, even if it's just fun, but maybe not amazing, the real 1-2 punch, guys, the real sort of lifeblood to the Marvel fandom this year is all about the summer. It's all about the Fantastic Four movie, and it's all about San Diego Comic-Con. Okay? Now, as it currently stands, Fantastic Four is going to come out, I believe, the very weekend of San Diego Comic-Con. And this will mirror what they did with Deadpool and Wolverine, which will probably look like actually showing the movie to Hall H on Thursday, spoiling some crazy cameos, which means basically just one thing, that's RDJ Doctor Doom. And that energy of that week and all the leaks and rumors leading up to it, the actual Fantastic Four movie, which looks dope as hell, looks very fun, feels like they nailed the tone, and there's going to be some RDJ Doom shit. It's like, we don't even know what it is. It's so vague. There are rumors. By the way, big video coming out on the channel today about the rumors of Doctor Doom and Kang. So some stuff with like Kang, it's like blowing my mind. There's stuff with the Fantastic Four movie that's blowing my mind, but it's incredibly spoilery, so I'm putting it into a spoiler video. That'll drop later today. But even without going into full details, like, let's just say they're fucking cooking with Fantastic Four. It's going to be nuts, and I think even just for the RDJ elements and the lead into Secret Wars or Doomsday, that's going to be fascinating to watch. But they will, of course, as they do, make a big deal out of San Diego Comic-Con. And let me just ask you a question, chat. What are the movies they showed last year at San Diego Comic-Con, right? What are the movies last year? Well, they talked about Brave New World. They talked about Thunderbolts. They talked about Fantastic Four. And then they announced Secret Wars, and they announced Doomsday, and they announced the Russos, and they announced RDJ Doctor Doom. That was like the sort of drop the mic at the end, absolute insanity thing. Okay? Well, what are the movies that they can talk about this summer at San Diego Comic-Con? What are the movies? Thunderbolts will have already been out. Brave New World will have already been out. Frankly, Fantastic Four is already going to be out. Now, they'll probably talk about it, but are they going to give a lot of time to speaking about the Fantastic Four? No. That's not going to be what the mic drop shit is. So what's the mic drop shit? Well, it's too early to say exactly what this will look like. But the only other movies that we know about that Marvel could talk about and do mic drop shit with are Doomsday, Spider-Man 4, and Secret Wars. And we'll talk more extensively about what will actually be announced. What are they going to talk about? I think they'll probably preview the Battle World sagas. So I bet you get a little bit more of a look at RDJ and Doomsday and the craziness that's coming. Maybe they announce the Dark Avengers. Like, dude, can you fucking imagine if they bring out RDJ, right? Because they brought out RDJ last year. Can you imagine they bring out Hydra Cap? Like Chris Evans as Hydra Cap on stage? You know what I mean? Like, what if they bring out, like, evil Black Widow, evil Hawkeye, evil Thor, Maestro Hulk? Like, can you imagine? Now, I'm not saying they're going to do that, and in some ways, I'm already getting ahead of myself. I'm already doing the fanboy dreaming. But the point is, they have to get us very hyped up and excited for Doomsday. That's a big thing that Comic-Con has to do. And I think they'll probably mic drop, tease, like World War Hulk and maybe Spider-Man 4 as Battle World movies. That's kind of like the way that I think about it. But what I'm saying to you is, right now, we're kind of reeling with regards to Marvel, Captain America. Things feel all shaky. Things feel all crazy. We're about to get into some crazy Daredevil stuff for like 8 to 9 weeks of Daredevil. It's going to be incredible. Seems like it's going to be really good. Then we've got the Thunderbolts movie, which seems really fun, and we're excited. Then we've got the 1-2 punch of the Fantastic Four film and San Diego Comic-Con, basically the promotion of Doomsday. Maybe later on in the year, we get an official Doomsday trailer, and that's going to be like mind-blowing, like holy shit type stuff, okay? And sure, there are other projects sprinkled throughout here, right? You've got Ironheart, you've got Wonder Man, Zombies, Eyes of Wakanda, a bunch of other projects like that, right? I feel that most of those projects will be sort of swept under the rug in the same way that Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was. And I mean, look, here's the deal. I like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm not current on it, and I don't know when I'll finish it. Okay? And that's not a dig on the show, because I actually was shocked at how good the show is. I really liked the show. But Marvel and where they're at, they've just fatigued their audience to a crazy degree. It's just like, I don't think this year's releases are actually designed for us to like really give a shit and be plugged in on every single one of them. I feel like they kind of are designed in a way where there are certain pieces that are really important and then a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter all that much. And the stuff that is really important is fire and has to do with the future. And the other stuff just kind of feels like it'll be filler or side stuff, and it's fine. That's kind of what I think is going on. And on the one hand, does it suck? And it's like, oh man, like, yeah, some of that stuff's not going to be super fun to get through. I think where we're at right here is still the worst. Like, if Ironheart is like lame and like Echo level or whatever, it's whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'll probably ignore it. I probably won't even finish it if it's like really, really bad. If Wonder Man's lame and weird and feels like Agatha and it doesn't like matter as much or whatever, like, it's fine. Maybe I'll enjoy it and think it's funny. Maybe not. It won't really matter. Unfortunately, I think Captain America matters quite a bit to people. I think the status of the Avengers and passing the baton to Sam and all these different things, I think Captain America mattered quite a bit. And I do feel like Marvel really did screw that up. But that's what makes right now actually the low point, right? Like, that's what makes right now kind of tough and hard to get through. I truly feel, even if Ironheart is total garbage, even if, like, let's say all the other projects that suck balls, or let's just say they do suck balls, right? I don't think it's going to feel bad. Because there'll be so much other stuff that we're really excited about. I mean, if Daredevil hits the way we think it will, and they're already filming season 2, like, bro, holy shit. That's such a W. It feels so good. Feels so good to be excited about Daredevil, you know? Feels good. Okay? And then as long as Thunderbolts isn't, like, absolutely terrible and super fun, and it's like, you know, hey, we're having a good time. Awesome. Chillin'. Love it. Sentry was dope. Holy shit. And then Fantastic Four and SDCC, bro, like, that's where the hype's at. So I truly believe, guys, and I hope you understand, that this is the low point, and there's a lot of really fun, really awesome stuff coming up within Marvel. Okay? But let me, for a second here, actually just discuss why and how Avengers Doomsday is actually being set up by all of these different movies, okay? Because I think this is something that a lot of fans are quite confused about, and it definitely doesn't feel like this is all super well planned. So I get it. I absolutely get it, okay? So basically, if we think about Avengers Doomsday, and we think back to Infinity War and Endgame, and the fact that the Infinity Saga did such a great job of explaining who all of the characters were, where were they at within the universe, what's the conflict, what's the differences between them, it was like we knew. Like, it was pretty well established. And so when you go into Infinity War and you watch this incredible script take all of these characters scattered throughout an entire universe and bring them together through the thread of that story and Thanos, it was brilliant, you know? We knew that the Guardians were out in space doing their thing. We knew that Hulk was with Thor and Loki, and they had just witnessed Ragnarok in order to stop Hela, and then they have a run-in with Thanos, right? Like, we knew that Steve Rogers and Captain America was underground because of the Sokovia Accords. They had beef with the actual Avengers and Tony Stark. We knew Tony was doing his thing. We knew Doctor Strange was doing his thing. And then the way it all kind of comes together is just, it felt so good, man. Holy. And I think the concern, man, is that Doomsday's not going to feel anything like that. And I think a lot of fans look at, like, Captain America, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four, and they're like, do you mean to tell me that these three projects are supposed to set up the status quo that then we will see Doomsday and RDJ Doctor Doom like mess with and handle. Like, how is that possible? Okay, but it is possible. It is actually a plan, and so let me explain it to you. Okay, so Brave New World, we just watched it. Brave New World, even though I don't think it's the best, it does a decent job of establishing certain things. First of all, Sam Wilson is Captain America. Okay, Sam is known to be Captain America. He is famous as Captain America, and especially after he fights a literal Red Hulk in Washington, D.C., and it's this massive thing, and it's literally the president of the United States. Yeah, bro, people are pretty aware of Sam as Captain America. So Sam is definitely solidified as Captain America at the end of that movie, at least as far as the lore. You might not like it. You might think it's whack. You might think he's got too much going on, or he'll never be Steve Rogers, or whatever. But for the sake of the actual story going into Doomsday, Sam Wilson is absolutely Captain America, and everybody knows it. Most people accept it. That's what it is. Now, President Ross was trying to establish the Avengers. Okay, that's also a thread in the film. And we don't know what the status of that, like, actually becomes after, you know, the whole Ross turning into the Red Hulk, etc. But if you think about it, they still did that treaty, right? They have that treaty with Ross, and they're allowing that to continue on, even though he hulked out and almost killed a bunch of people. So maybe they're also going to have the Avengers be a thing under maybe the vice president that now becomes president, or maybe they will get a new president or whatever, right? But the point is, Sam Wilson is Captain America. The United States government wants new Avengers. They want Sam Wilson as Captain America to lead the Avengers and to reestablish them. And the president turned into a Hulk. He's in a prison with the leader. And the leader ends up giving a warning to Sam Wilson. Now, look, this post-credit scene was ass. I hated this post-credit scene. But one thing it establishes is that Sam, as Captain America, as potentially the leader of the Avengers, he has been given a warning that his world and the heroes of this world are going to have to fight against other worlds. And that's a big freaking deal. So we can assume that Sam's going to take that seriously. He's going to be doing something to prepare. Maybe getting other members of the team back together. Maybe he's going to go tell Banner that Banner needs to stop being a pussy and actually get under a barbell again or something. We don't know exactly, but that's kind of like status quo. That's established. Okay? Now, going into Thunderbolts. What's the deal with Thunderbolts? Well, one thing that I forgot to mention about Brave New World, but that will be heavily explored in the Thunderbolts movie, is that Bucky Barnes is trying to become a congressman. So he's no longer trying to be a hero. He's trying to be a congressman. That's something that's established in Brave New World. And I think it's going to directly tie in to Thunderbolts. There's a moment, and I guess spoilers for Brave New World. There's a moment where Bucky meets up with Sam in the movie, and Bucky says that he's about to go to a fundraiser. Stupid fundraiser in Washington, D.C. I don't know if he says that exactly, but he is going to a fundraiser, okay? I believe that will be the exact scene that we see in the Thunderbolts trailer with Bucky at that, like, place where they have Loki's scepter and all of these other artifacts. So I feel like that's the fundraiser. And maybe it's an auction for memorabilia from the Avengers tenure or something like that, right? And I think in the Thunderbolts movie, what we're going to see is Bucky Barnes and a lot of other super soldiers form another group of heroes. They are going to be called the Thunderbolts, but I believe the asterisk either means New Avengers or Dark Avengers or just Avengers. Okay, now that's kind of important because what those two things mean together is that when we go into Doomsday, the Thunderbolts team and the team that Sam establishes as the Avengers, those will both be important players within the film. In Infinity War, we had it so there was Steve Rogers' team of Avengers, there's Tony's team of Avengers, and they're kind of acting separately, right? But they're both Avengers teams, and they're fighting against, you know, Thanos and Thanos' cronies, etc. So what I'm saying is you're going to get the same thing in Doomsday. From everything we've heard, from all the insight from insiders and all that, you're going to get the same thing in Doomsday. You'll have the Thunderbolts team be a part of this, or the new Avengers. They'll probably be active like in DC or maybe in New York City. And they are there. Now, we don't know for sure exactly if Sentry, Bob, will end up being a part of the team or not. I would imagine he will. I would imagine they work that out and he becomes a member of that team. So you'll have Sam Wilson and his Avengers. You'll have Bucky Barnes and his Avengers. And maybe you'll have a lot of other, like, Marvel characters, especially if there's big things going on in New York. You might get a little Daredevil cameo, some stuff like that. But those pieces are in play. Now, you'll also have Doctor Strange. I'm just going crazy right now just talking about this, the plot and everything that I think is happening. But you'll also have Doctor Strange, but he will likely be having interactions with Doctor Doom, with the actual Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom. Okay? And so what that means is that just like in Infinity War, these teams of heroes on Earth, the two Avengers teams, essentially, they will be fighting against probably Dark Avengers. And I was thinking about this morning. You've got Bucky Barnes leading a team of Avengers, and you've got Sam Wilson leading a team of Avengers. Well, what would be crazy for both of them to witness? That would be Steve Rogers as an evil Hydra version of Captain America. Yeah, and so I think that's probably going to happen. You're probably going to have Hydra Cap and maybe the Dark Avengers, led by Hydra Cap, actually assault 616, and we'll have the new Avengers team fighting against the old Avengers in evil form as they work for Doctor Doom. So that is going to be an important piece of the puzzle. But what's up with Fantastic Four? So we talked about Brave New World. We talked about Thunderbolts, how they're established pieces that will become the board that the plot takes place on in Doomsday. What's up with Fantastic Four? You know, I think one of the reasons that the fans are so confused as to how this movie is actually going to set stuff up is because it seems so wholesome and it seems so different than anything else in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This team, this family, seemingly is in a totally different universe. It feels like a completely different vibe. And sure, they're dealing with Galactus, and they're dealing with John Malkovich and his crazy demands of money, and he doesn't want to hang from cranes in front of green screens, et cetera, et cetera. They're dealing with all that shit. But how the hell does this have anything to do with what's going to happen in Doomsday? How does this tie into the two Avengers team, the Dark Avengers, etc.? Well, it all has to do with RDJ's Doctor Doom, and it all has to do with the fact that this universe that the Fantastic Four exist in is heavily rumored to be destroyed at the end of their movie. And so if you think back to the model of Infinity War, the Fantastic Four are probably essentially going to be Hulk. In Infinity War, Hulk witnesses Thanos. He witnesses how powerful he is. He witnesses that he has the Infinity Stones. He's the most powerful being in the universe. And then Hulk gets sent to Earth. Hulk then tells Doctor Strange and Iron Man about Thanos. And he sort of like kicks the whole thing off, lets them know that the big threat is coming. Well, the Fantastic Four, without getting too spoilery, because you're going to have to watch the video I drop later, that where I go into all the craziness. Without getting too spoilery, I believe this Fantastic Four team will witness RDJ Doctor Doom doing crazy RDJ Doctor Doom things, and they will witness the destruction of their universe. And so when they come in to the Doomsday movie, they're going to serve the role of Hulk, warning everybody, probably these two teams of Avengers, warning them about Doom, about the big threat and what is coming. So even though right now it seems really confusing and we're like, how is this all going to tie together? I think we have to face facts that essentially the Avengers for the Avengers Doomsday movie that we're going to see fight, it's basically Sam Wilson, his team, and Bucky Barnes and his team. Those are the Avengers. Okay? And they're going to be fighting on 616, likely warned and joined by the Fantastic Four. Their universe is destroyed. Fantastic Four jumps in. All of a sudden, Sam Wilson's like, you know what? Leader told me we'd be fighting against other worlds. This is crazy. Blah, 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 blah. Right? And then while that is happening, and they're fighting against Dark Avengers, potentially King Thanos or some other crazy shit, Doctor Strange is going to be having interactions with Doctor Doom. And we're going to be learning about what he's actually cooking, how he wants to recreate the universe, et cetera, et cetera. And then, you know, there'll be some Spider-Man scenes and all that, right? And we don't know exactly what Doomsday holds for us. There's a lot of questions, a lot of mystery still about what it's going to look like. But essentially, that is the plan. And that is how all of these movies are actually setting up what will happen in Doomsday. And I'm not saying it's perfect. Definitely not perfect. Definitely wish things had been done differently and things have been built up better. But as far as this year and the big projects that are coming out, those are them. And that is how they plan on actually connecting this to Doomsday and setting it all up. So I hope you understood it. I hope you now are like feeling maybe potentially a little bit better about it, because I think it's cool. I think it's actually going to be good. But that is the plan. Okay. So now let's talk about Daredevil, man. Let's talk about Daredevil Born Again. This shit is so hype. We've got a new clip. I want to break this down. We've seen part of this before. This is the conversation between Matt and Kingpin here, okay? But guys, hold up, okay? So yesterday, they revealed a new trailer. It's fire, bro. It's 30 seconds, but it's fire, okay? It says, Devil's work is never done. Marvel Television's all-new series, Daredevil Born Again, premieres March 4th, at 6 p.m. PT, 9 p.m. ET, only on Disney Plus. And you can see here on the screen, if you're watching live, I said, I'm bringing watch parties back. Okay, so let's just hold on. Let's talk about this, okay? We have not seen something this hyped in some time, man. I've tried to get excited for the various Disney Plus shows. I've thought about doing watch parties. I think we thought about them for Echo. We thought about them for Agatha. We thought about them for other shows too. And I could never really pull the trigger on it. I never really wanted to do a watch party. And you got to understand, man, like watch parties for us used to be our bread and butter. When Disney Plus first launched, we were just getting out of the Infinity Saga. We thought Marvel could do no wrong. We were so excited. I remember thinking we were going to do watch parties for all of these shows. We were going to make merchandise for all of these shows. And, man, it really fell apart fast. And we ended up stopping the watch parties. I stopped doing the merch. I got kind of bummed, man. And I couldn't get excited for a watch party, okay? And a lot of you guys have been asking me about watch parties for years because we had some dope-ass times back in the day when we did the watch party. So let me just break it down. This is what it's going to look like. This thing's coming out not next Tuesday, but 2 Tuesdays from now. Okay? And it's going to drop at 9 p.m. So I'll probably be live on this channel at either 8 or 8:30 that evening. We'll chill. We'll get excited. We'll have some snacks. We'll answer questions, see what you guys are talking about. And then at 9, we're going to watch the show together. So you'll be able to actually get live reaction, live commentary. You'll be able to talk with other people in the chat. We're going to watch both of these episodes back to back. And check this out. This is crazy. The run times. We have the official run times for episode 1 and 2 of Daredevil Born Again. Episode 1 is 58 minutes long. Episode 2 is 47 minutes long. So not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday afterwards. Bro, that's going to be a girthy, super lengthy stream, man. Almost 2 hours of actual Daredevil content. And right after we watch it together, we're going to go right into giving like live reaction, breakdown, commentary, full spoiler discussion. We're going to get into it. We'll take Q&As, see what you guys are thinking about it. We'll gush about the show together. I'm really excited, man. I'm really, really excited. It feels cool to be genuinely hyped up for a coming Marvel project. I'm so excited that they're dropping it at this time where I can actually participate and do watch parties. It's Daredevil. Love the character. There's just so many feel-good things about this. And so I wanted to put that out there, explain to you what's going on with Daredevil, and just talk about just how fucking cool this is, man. And why I'm so damn excited about it. Now, the other thing that's crazy, and we'll watch this clip here in a minute, but the other thing that's crazy is the schedule for Daredevil is wild. So it opens with the 2 episodes, okay? Then we get 1 episode a night for a couple of weeks. Then on March 25th, we get episodes 5 and 6 together. Oh, and by the way, all episodes will be released at 9 p.m. So we're going to do watch parties for the whole damn season. W's all around. Oh, it hasn't felt like this in some time, man. So I'm really excited about Daredevil Born Again. Super hyped up to hear this news yesterday, to hear that we could actually be back in this regard. I'm really excited. I hope it does massive numbers. I hope the word of mouth is incredible and it actually gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because I do think at this point Marvel kind of has, like, you know, not the best reputation, and a lot of normies, a lot of people that are just looking to experience fun stuff, they're going to be like a little skeptic of what the show's going to be able to do. But the show, from what we understand, has the gas, man. Like, it absolutely is cooking with gas. And I think once people get their eyes on it, once those first 2 episodes come out, I think the word will be out there that we are officially back up, and that we have found within this sea of It's So Over, we have found an island of We're So Back. And I'll meet you there. I'll meet you on the Daredevil We're So Back Island. And I'm so damn excited that we're going to be able to do these watch parties. Now, let's watch this clip. Let us react to this officially released clip here for Daredevil Born Again.
I don't make it to Hell's Kitchen much these days.
Neither do I. By the look of it, you've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
Hey, thank you. Yeah.
You're a real man of the people now.
A rich man, by his very nature, is self-serving. A mayor serves his city.
Huh.
You don't seem entirely convinced.
Can you blame me? Considering you've tried to kill me a few times over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't make it to Hell's Kitchen much these days.
Oh, that's dope, man. I'm really excited to see the rest of this. We've seen parts of this in some of the trailers, but to watch the, like, actual dialogue, the actual scene, this looks good.
Why? By the look of it, you've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
Hey, thank you. Yeah.
You're a real man of the people now.
A rich man, by his very nature, is self-serving. A mayor serves his city.
Huh.
You don't seem entirely convinced.
Can you blame me? Considering you've tried to kill me a few times over the years.
Man, it's going to be hype. I'm so excited, dude. They really, really should be thanking their lucky stars, but also patting themselves on the back for the fact that they did what they did with the show. I cannot imagine, you know, I was thinking about this, man. I cannot imagine what the discourse would be like in the Marvel community if we had gone through Brave New World, if we had gone through a lot of what we went through with Phase 4, and then Daredevil ended up being more like the Marvel Disney Plus shows of Phase 4 than the old Netflix show, because that's kind of what it is, you know, like that's what it seemed like it was going to be. It was trying to be super different. It was trying to do its own thing, wanted to be its own MCU version of the characters and whatever, right? Oh, man, I cannot imagine what that would have been like. It might have been a straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. But luckily for us, they took a step back, and they decided to recreate this show and to keep it much more in line with the vibes of the Netflix show. And oh my goodness, man, it just seems like it actually worked. They're firing on all cylinders with this thing. And so I cannot wait. I cannot wait for more Daredevil Born Again. 2 episodes, 2 weeks from now. Watch parties returning. I'm excited. I'm hyped up. Okay, one more big story here. It's a Star Wars story. Okay? It's a Star Wars story, ladies and gentlemen. And, as I said at the top of this show, at the top of this stream, I'm not trying to get hyperbolic here. I think we can all acknowledge Star Wars not in the best shape. It's dead. It's basically dead. We all know it. Star Wars in rough shape. And I heard a rumor. This came out just yesterday, maybe a couple of days before. Totally flew under the radar. And yet it has me thinking things about Star Wars that I have not thought in some time. It has me thinking that there could be hope. It has me thinking that they could save Star Wars. Yeah, man. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about Mara fucking Jade. So check this out. Latest rumor claims Lucasfilm is working on a Mara Jade series. Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire trilogy introduced readers to Mara Jade, a deadly operative once known as the Emperor's Hand. She worked in secret for Palpatine, carrying out his most dangerous missions. During Return of the Jedi, she was inside Jabba's Hutt palace when ordered to kill Luke Skywalker. But when things spiraled out of control, she never got the chance. After Palpatine's fall, Mara lost everything and blamed Luke for it. Fueled by anger and a final command from her master, she spent years hunting him. But things then took an unexpected turn when she uncovered the truth. Palpatine had manipulated her mind. Eventually, she rejected his influence, striking down Luke, a clone of Luke Skywalker created by Dark Jedi Joruus C'baoth. From there, her path changed, and she embraced the way of the Jedi. Oh boy, did she. In the old Legends timeline, Mara and Luke later married and had children. But since Disney's sequel trilogy sucked ass and ruined everything, that storyline and those details are unlikely to be made into the canon. Still, there's a chance Mara could return in a different way. Scooper, my time to shine. Hello. Wait, come back. Don't be mad. I think she's actually onto something here. I'll talk more about it. I've heard things too. Just hold on. Scooper, my time to shine. Hello. Who has a mixed track record, claims that Lucasfilm is working on a TV series focused on Mara Jade. If true, her connection to Luke would likely be rewritten, but her past as the Emperor's Hand could still play a major role. There's even a possibility that she and Luke met at some point before his exile. With Ahsoka proving to be a hit and a second season already on the way, another female-led series centered on a skilled warrior seems a smart bet. Mara has been one of the most requested characters for live action, and bringing her into the fold could be a huge win for Lucasfilm after years of divisive projects. Pretty interesting. Okay, so that's the report coming out from My Time to Shine. Hello. But here's something that's kind of interesting, and I'm wondering if any of you remember this. This is not the first time that I have talked about Mara Jade. I don't know if you guys remember. How many of you do? Put a 1 into the chat if you remember. I've actually heard, and this was at this point years ago, probably around the time of the ending of Ahsoka. I remember that I heard that Mara Jade was potentially going to be a part of Dave Filoni's Heir to the Empire movie. Yeah. So I have actually heard multiple things about this rumor about Mara Jade being a part of Star Wars before I ever heard My Time to Shine Hello actually say this. All right? So look, I'm not saying it's real, you know, but what I am saying is I didn't pick this story out because it sounded really cool and, oh, wow, wouldn't that be great? I picked this story out because it actually matches up with insane things that I heard years ago. So if this is real, it would indicate that there's a continued effort on Dave Filoni's part to get Mara Jade to actually be a part of the canon. And look, man, this is where we will probably have to depart a bit because many of you, and rightfully so, will be skeptical of this and will be skeptical of Lucasfilm's ability to even execute on it properly. And you certainly don't think that they would do the right thing. But I'm going to diverge. I'm going to take the copium. I'm going to do the fanboy dreaming. And I'm going to tell you that I would love if Dave Filoni retconned the canon that was established by the sequels, if he reintroduced Mara Jade, and he even had her have a relationship with Luke Skywalker. And I'm going to say it. I know not everybody's going to agree. I know some people will have some backlash for this. I know some people will be upset about it. But I say, why the fuck not give Luke Skywalker secret Skywalker children? Just do it. Just do it. Just have Mara Jade. I mean, if you think about it, right? If you think about it, what would this mean? It would mean at around the time of the sequel trilogy that Luke either knew that he had children with Mara and he was hiding it from everybody and he didn't want them involved and he had, nothing to do with that, which they could tie into the reason why he actually goes to Octu. And by the way, if they actually establish Abeloth and the mother and some of that craziness, then perhaps Luke instructs Mara to take their children and to go far, far away and to not be dealing with any of the stuff that was actually going on during the events of the sequel trilogy. That is how I would do it. And I know, I'm fanboy dreaming. And by the way, not everybody agrees with this. There's a lot of people out there that have this belief that they're like over the Skywalkers. They don't want us to go back to the Skywalkers. I totally disagree with that. I fucking hate it. And I mean, here's what I would ask. If they really wanted to go away from the Skywalkers, why did they name Rey stupid face? Why did they name her Rey Skywalker? They obviously know it matters. They know it's a big thing. So even if they're saying that they want to go away from the Skywalkers, they kind of don't want to go away from the Skywalkers because they named her fucking Skywalker, okay? And I also can't help myself when I heard the rumors of Ryan Gosling potentially being one of the stars or like a co-star in Sean Levy's Star Wars movie. I can't help it. I thought of Ben Skywalker. He kind of looks like Ben Skywalker. Now, Ben's young in the Legacy books and all that sort of stuff, but like he's blonde, has curly hair. He kind of looks like him. I mean, Ryan Gosling kind of even looks like a young Mark Hamill a little bit here. And I know at this point you're like, wow, this dude is going completely crazy here. He has totally lost his mind. Yeah, I have. Welcome to being a Star Wars fan. This is what it's like. So I would love, and I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to make a goddamn declaration. Okay, you ever make a goddamn declaration, chat? Here's my goddamn declaration. I do declare that if Mr. Dave Filoni brings in Mara Jade, and if he gives a relationship to Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade, and if he gives Luke Skywalker secret children with Mara Jade, then I am back to being all in on Star Wars. I'm going to go get more Star Wars merchandise. I'm going to get Star Wars shirts. I'm going to get Star Wars hats. I'm going to stop talking shit on Star Wars. I'm going to be so excited about it. I'll start making Star Wars videos again. I'm all in on Star Wars if they just Give me Mara Jade back, and they give me some secret Skywalker children. Please don't let Rey from nowhere be the only Skywalker that's actually left living, because she's not actually a Skywalker, and she absolutely sucks. Okay, so there it is. There's the theory, there's the rumor, there's the speculation. And again, look, I know it's crazy. I know it seems wild. I know it's like fanboy dream, right? But I'm telling you, I dead ass heard rumors of Mara Jade years ago. Dead ass. I heard them years ago. Now these rumors are coming out about a Mara Jade show. Shine is reliable. Of course, she doesn't get everything right, and of course, she's a wild card. But she's absolutely been ahead of many things and been on top of many, many things. Like, dude, trust me. She knows what she's talking about. So I'm going to choose to believe this, and I'm going to choose to optimistically hope that they're doing Secret Skywalkers, and then I'm back to being all in Star Wars, baby. Woo! And if not, it's okay, because Warhammer's coming, and Warhammer's going to save us all. But yeah, I think that is essentially all the news for you today, ladies and gentlemen. So let's do that thing where we now get into the questions and answers. We go over the super chats and the member chats here on the stream. We'll hang out on the chat as well. And I kind of like saying this for the people that just listen on the podcast. Maybe not super familiar how all of this goes. This is that time of the pod where I might actually get super triggered and, as the kids say, crash the fuck out, okay? You just have to understand, I love the chat. I love the members. I love the community over here. But they also test me and push me to the limit every single day, and they try to get me to snap because they think it's really fucking funny. So, just want to warn you about that. Let us now get in to the questions and the answers and see what you guys think about all these different things. There's a lot of stuff we talked about today, man. A lot of Marvel copium, some Star Wars copium, Daredevil news. Ooh, a lot of good stuff. Rossi's first in today with a rose. Appreciate you, brother. Finto182 says, now that Cap 4 is over and there are only 2 movies left till Doomsday, are you a little scared how it's all going to connect? Maybe the first 3/4 of Doomsday is them putting the team together. Nerd Ventures for life. Take my money. Well, you sent this very early on in the stream. I actually addressed this. So if you were here for that, Finto, I went over a whole section where I talked about Doomsday, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, how it's all going to get set up and tied together. So hopefully that segment kind of helped you understand like where my head is at. And no, I'm not worried. They obviously need to execute and it needs to be cool, but I'm not worried. I can actually see the pieces being pulled together. Joshua says, I hope you enjoyed your day off while we were all crashing out with no news or updates. Seriously, though, family first, much love, bro. Hey, appreciate you, man. Yeah, just had to do a little extra daddy duty yesterday, man. I mean, we do still have a newborn and a toddler, so things get crazy. But, yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Jazz with a 10 spot says, to me, we won't be in We Are So Back territory until we've fully transitioned into the X-Men movies and content. They are so effing dope, bro. Can't wait. Everything else, even Secret Wars, doesn't really excite me. Well, I mean, I agree and disagree. I mean, I think the X-Men stuff's going to be fire, but I think the thing that maybe you're missing, and now that I think about it, Marvel probably did this on purpose, but the thing that you're missing is the beginning of your beloved X-Men story is actually in Secret Wars. Something that's happening in Doomsday and Secret Wars directly has to do with the mutants, and it's very important to understanding their status quo in the soft rebooted MCU. That's the way I understand it. And so even if you're not excited about like Secret Wars and shit like that, if you're just excited about X-Men, you're still going to need to see those movies and you'll still get some really interesting things out of them for the X-Men stuff. Now, I will also say that, yeah, I think X-Men and the X-Men saga is going to be way better. I mean, let me just ask this to the chat. This will be a fun exercise. Do you guys think that the X-Men saga or the mutant saga or whatever they end up calling it, do you believe that it will be better than the multiversal saga? If you do, put a 1 into the chat. Again, do you think that the X-Men saga or the mutant saga will be better then the Multiverse Saga. Let me know, chat. Like, what do you think? And I'm going to assume that we're getting a bunch of ones into the chat, right? Because, yeah, we're all kind of feeling that same way about it, right? So, sure, we're excited for that. And I do think, especially because there's some rumors that, like, the Russos are going to be more involved in the Mutant Saga, which is great. They were really helpful in making the Infinity Saga, especially the last couple of years of the Infinity Saga. Making that all gel together was not easy, and the Russos were absolutely a big part of that. So it's a huge W that the Russos are helping the Mutant Saga. So that's going to be cool. Appreciate the support, man. Jacob Stowe says, less than 2 weeks away from actual Marvel peak. This could be the start of the run we've been waiting for. Nerd Avengers for life. Hell yeah, brother. Look, that's what I'm saying. And that's, look, okay, we had Captain America Brave New World. I thought, Friday's stream was good, but obviously I was kind of bummed, pretty low on the film. Monday's stream was good, but I was pretty low on the movie. I was trying to walk a line because I know a lot of you really enjoy the film. I know a lot of you are really rooting for Sam, and that's all good, But, frankly, I was happy to get past that shit. And when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, I was really in the mindset of, like, what comes next? What does the actual rest of the year look like for us, the actual Marvel fans? And guys, like, there's just, like, real talk. There's a lot of exciting shit happening. Daredevil's going to be dope. We're bringing watch parties back, dude. We're going to be doing weekly watch parties again. It's fucking awesome. I'm excited for that. Then we get into Thunderbolts. It looks sick as hell, dude. Sentry. We're about to do a deep dive on Sentry next week. Get really into that. That's going to be dope as hell. Fantastic Four in San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to tell you right now, we will break records during the Comic-Con streams this year. Again, I'm telling you right now, we will break personal and channel records with the amount of viewers and the amount of hype and the amount of buzz. This year at Comic-Con is when they actually peel the curtain back a bit and explain what the fuck they're doing with RDJ Doctor Doom. And people are going to be at the edge of their seat. They're going to be ready, and we're going to go through that together as a community, and I'm so excited. So I truly think that we're about to get really into a lot of good stuff, man, including Daredevil. Marcus says, time to put Brave New World behind us and get hyped for what's going to be coming from Marvel. If F4 is garbage, I don't know if I'll be able to recover. Yeah, that's true. Let's also be real. Fantastic Four absolutely has to work, slap, and set shit up properly. Otherwise, like, bro, oh my God. Right? This universe cannot sustain off hype alone. I mean, hype is really an important part of the formula. Fantastic Four needs to work. It needs to slap. And RDJ Doctor Doom needs to make us all go, oh, wow. That's really cool. But yeah, hopefully that happens. But I agree with you, man. Time to get excited. Time to get hyped. Philip Hash, very generous $20 holla, man, says, Josh, was the family stuff yesterday Liam asking you what Warhammer is and you had to take the morning to indoctrinate him? Also, I sent a dope podcast episode in the Diamond Lounge that I think you should check out. Okay, sick. If I don't see the podcast link, just ping me again later today and remind me of it. I'll definitely check it out. So as far as the question about Liam, I'm going to be real, and I think a lot of you guys will also know that this is real. I was this close to showing Liam some Warhammer the other day. And for better or worse, his mom was there, and his mom was in the room. And she saw the TV MA like 15 plus rating come up on the episode. I was going to show him a little episode on Warhammer Plus, right? And she was like, yeah, he can't watch this. Now, look, in my head, I was like, he can watch it. He's not even going to totally know, what's going on. He'll probably just be like, oh, that's crazy. Explosion, darkness, and stuff like that, right? So, like, I'll just be totally real. If mom wasn't there, he would have absolutely been watching some Warhammer shit. But, she made a valid argument, the darkness and, just the vibes and the violence. It could actually, like, affect a kid, and you don't want to, you don't want to have kids inundated with all that sort of stuff. So maybe we'll wait until he's 3 or 4, and then we'll start. I'm not sure. I don't know if I can make it to 15. Are we really going to let this kid live without Warhammer for 15 years? Psh, I don't think so. Appreciate you, Philip. Thanks, man. John Snow says, had to put my dog down this week. Today's my birthday, so bad timing. Any words of wisdom to help me get through it? Appreciate you, Josh/Nerdvengers. Here's what I'll say, man. That situation sucks. My sister just went through this. One of my sisters lost like a dog that had been with her for like 20 years. There's no way around it. It's going to suck. It will leave an empty place in your heart. The only thing I could say is that the empty place, that hole in your heart, that is in some ways how you carry your dog forward. The dog's gone, but within that hole in your heart, he still exists. The memories are so real that they're literally causing you to feel things and be kind of torn apart. That's how you know there was a real connection there. And so in some ways, that's just how you carry your dog now, is as a hole in your heart. And, that's the best I can do. There's nothing that I can say that'll actually make it better. Time will help with that. But for now, I would it's kind of like a Zen thing or whatever, but just feel that pain, man. Like live through that pain, feel that mourning. It's okay. You lost a best friend. That shit sucks. There's no way around it. It sucks. Let it suck. Let that shit suck for a while. And then, find yourself a new puppy maybe or something. I hear that's something people do to help. Mr. Jazz says, actually, F4 looks pretty fantastic. Pun intended. Yeah, it does. It does. And I like that pun. Well done, sir. John Cross says, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is low-key peak. I mean, I'm really enjoying it, man. But, I ask myself, am I actually going to sit down and just watch the show? And it sucks, but that's, where Marvel is at right now. This is a really great show that I think kind of got buried in the shuffle. I don't know how its viewership was. I don't know how many people are actually going to talk about it. But the thing that this show has going for it is I think it's going to get 2 more seasons at least. And it is very good. So maybe once we get into a better state with Marvel, like when season 2 rolls around, maybe when season 3 rolls around, people will go back and binge it. And they'll be like, yo, this is actually really good. Because I continue to say it's really good. I really like the show. But, I've been catching up on Severance. I've been catching up on anime. It's just am I really, especially when I'm kind of bummed out about Captain America, am I really going to sit down and throw Spider-Man on? I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. John Solo says, excited for the watch parties and for your coverage of Thunderbolts and FF. Even with Cap 4, I still got a lot of hope going forward. Hey, I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I have a lot of hope going forward. Kind of what I wanted to focus on today for the stream or for the pod. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm really excited to get into some of these things. And 2 weeks to Daredevil. I'm working on Daredevil videos right now, man. Oh, I'm excited. We're cooking. And a lot of fun, rumors and leaks and hype throughout the summer into the fall. First trailer for Doomsday. Bro, there's a lot of good stuff on the way. Joshua says, the thought of World War Hulk tease at San Diego Comic-Con got me hyped. Yeah, man, I think you're going to get it. I'm going to make that prediction. Braden says, Bucky has too damaged of a past to be Cap, but not a U.S. congressman? LMAO. Okay, dude. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily totally understand what they were doing with the congressman thing, but it's obvious it's not going to work out. He's going to become Bucky again. That's kind of what Thunderbolts seems to be about. So, yeah. And look, I don't think Bucky's going to be Cap. I think they're going to leave Sam as Cap. And Bucky and Sam will probably fight against Hydra Cap, and that'll be really cool. But, yeah, we'll see what the Russos do with Anthony Mackie. I think it'll probably be pretty fire. Maybe we'll like him a little more. And then we'll see what happens in the Mutant Saga. The Avengers are not going to be the focus anyway, so it's not like you're going to see a ton of Mackie. But I wouldn't mind if he stayed around, Just do better with him. Joshua says, I think they revealed the asterisk means the Avengers are not available, basically saying that the Thunderbolts are the substitutes. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's kind of what it is, I can see that. Braden says, Daredevil already looks leaps and bounds better than anything else on Disney+. I mean, I agree, dude. I agree big time. Although we are getting them damn double Ds or not. Probably not the double Ds, bro. I don't know why, but they don't want to put them double Ds Charlie's Cox or whatever. So they're not doing that. But yeah, the show looks incredible. I mean, like I said, my bold predictions, in case you missed it, my bold predictions are biggest show on Disney Plus ever, and competing with like The Boys and like Fallout and The Last of Us, like getting into that range. Big, big, big show. So I'm excited. JJ Lamone says, finish Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It will amp up your Daredevil hype. Ooh, okay. Well, I'll have to give it a go then. I like the show. You know, I do like the show. DJ Cruz says, all-time favorite superhero, Josh. Also, you ever going to show off that nerdy collection of yours? Room tour? Much love. I don't want to do a room tour because, frankly, everything right outside of the frame here, it looks like absolute ass and terrible. But we're probably going to upgrade this room at some point this year. So maybe at that point, I'd give a little room tour. But what I could do is give you guys a tour of my Warhammer armies. You know, maybe I'll get all my Warhammer armies all set up on the kitchen table and we could do a little tour of that. Hey, chat, you want to see my Warhammer? Let me know. Space Trick Serial TM says, yay, can't wait for KK to ruin another pillar character of the Star Wars story. What's the plot going to be? Her saying how hard it is to be a whammon in space? Yeah. Why'd you have to remind me? Why'd you have to remind me of Kathleen Kennedy? Hey, look, she's on the way out, apparently, maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Parker Thwips with a 10 spot, man, appreciate it. Says, after Secret Wars, do solo films of the three main X-Men that culminate into the first X-Men film. Professor X is your Nick Fury, Magneto is your Loki, and Apocalypse is your Thanos. Recycle that works? I've been thinking about that. I'm not saying that that's the exact structure that they should use, but I really hope that if the Russos, if the Russos are really helping Marvel develop the X-Men saga, bro, it has to be way more like the Infinity Saga than the Multiverse Saga, which I think it probably will be just inherently because you're not going to be jumping around the multiverse. But like what I mean is like, yeah, set up the mutants and the X-Men, set up the Brotherhood, set up Apocalypse, set up the Celestial shit, have different teams of X-Men, so maybe like Alpha Flight or Exiles or X-Force or something, you know, have different teams of mutants, really establish the tension of how mutants and the Avengers and, you know, like just do the shit right, man. Like, yeah, if they can plan it a lot better, it's going to end up being so much more enjoyable than what the Multiverse Saga was. So I think we're on the same page with that. Rossi says, what it mean for Luke Soka if Mara is introduced? It means we're about to get the freakiest thruple that you've ever seen. Lekus, man. Lekus on Lekus. John Cross says, I know Star Wars is before and after Skywalkers, but to me, the Skywalkers are Star Wars, and you can't have it without them unless it's set in the past. Yeah, I agree, brother. I agree, man. And I need more Skywalkers. So, like, I'm seeing Mara Jade, and I'm like, hey, yo, Secret Skywalkers, I need it. Space Trick Serial TM says, also, are there like normal people in 40K, or are they all roided soldiers and aliens? On another note, will Magneto be Wanda's dad in the reboot? Ooh, both really good questions. I hope so. I hope that Magneto is Wanda's dad. I hope that's actually played off of in Doomsday and Secret Wars, because I do think that would be cool, man. So very hopeful for that, but I guess we're going to see. And then as far as normal people in 40K, yeah. So this is what's kind of wild is most people in 40K are just normal people. In fact, most people in 40K will never even see a Space Marine. Like, they're rare to see. But in a lot of the, you know, because it's a war game and because you want it to be lit and dope and shit, like, a lot of the stories with Warhammer are like normal people, and then all of a sudden some Astartes show up and you're like, oh my God, these super soldiers. It's a lot like in Halo, right? There are way more regular humans than there are Spartans, but the Spartans are dope. So you want to follow the Spartans around and hear their story. But yeah, there's a bunch of normal people in 40K. They're just not really that interesting. You know, like the other characters, like either the Psychers or the Gnolls that have like the pariah gene, they're really interesting. You know, the super soldiers, whether it's the Space Marines or like you can kind of be a halfway Space Marine or you could be a custodian, you know, those characters are the most interesting. Jared says, now Rey can get with Ben Skywalker again and have twins. Oh, bow chicka bow wow. Yeah, wouldn't that be lit? I think that would be cool. Joshua says they need to make it canon that the sequels are not real, but caused by Abeloth. It would fix everything. I think Abeloth being a part of it would actually fix a lot, but the only thing that's really going to fix Star Wars is like incredible content that's consistent for years. I think even at this point, if Ahsoka is good and Mando's good, it really doesn't do much for Star Wars. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I don't think that does much for Star Wars. Because it's like where Marvel's at right now, right? Like, we just had Brave New World. You know, Deadpool and Wolverine was a fan favorite. People loved that thing. Literally less than a year later, one bad movie, and it's like it's Jover again. That's like kind of the downside to the current way that fandom works. Star Wars has been screwing up so bad that even if they deliver 3 fire projects in a row, I don't know that it really changes the fan perception when project number 4 rolls around. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, that's tough. We'll see, though. Diamond G says, you never said Cap 4 was IS. I think you liked it. I really, really didn't like it. That's all I want to say about it. Alex, welcome back to the Nerd Vengers. The Exodus says, Luke and Mara get together. They beat Thrawn, fend off the Vong invasion, beat Abeloth, then send their kids with Ahsoka to be trained on Peridia. Oh my God. That would fix almost everything. Holy. Sounds like a Star Wars fan. John Cross says, do you think they'll show F4 at SDCC like they did Deadpool 3? I do think so, yeah. I do think so. And you know what else? I'm going to try to be in that room. I'm going to try to be in that room next year. Or this year. Summer? What? Rossi says, I know the Lucas crisis that really happened. Liam went to the pantry, opened a bottle of ranch, and absolutely loved it. Yeah, and then I slapped that shit out of his hands. Josh was trying to stop the ranch. We're never even going to let him smell ranch. You know? And if any of his teachers at school open ranch around him, let's just say we're going to have a parent-teacher conference. Joshua says, let that shit suck was a bad way of putting it to this immature crowd. Oh, no, it's the perfect way for them to latch onto something and understand it in their perverted brains. John Poe says, you seen the Thing and Human Torch gameplay? Bro, they look incredible. They look incredible. Human Torch looks incredible. Dude, Ben Grimm looks so fun. Oh, my God. Bros, can we be serious for a second? Ben Grimm looks better than the Hulk, man. Oh, my goodness. I can't wait. Oh, and when does it drop? Friday? Look, I'm going to say something that I'm going to regret. I should not be saying this right now, okay? So you can all just ignore this. Ignore the next 30 seconds of what comes out of my mouth, okay? I was thinking about streaming some Marvel Rivals. We're going to stream tonight, okay? Either way, we're going to stream tonight at 7:30. But I was thinking about streaming some Marvel Rivals maybe Friday night to celebrate the new characters and to make it up for you missing a stream this week. But then I thought about it, and I was like, Josh, you got to stop promising shit. You got to stop trying to tell the community that you want to do this, that, second, and third. You're up to your eyeballs with work. You got a bunch of bullshit going on, so you can't do it. So just ignore the things I said. Scott says, how's it over if Daredevil is mid? How it over are we if it's Daredevil's mid? Oh, dude, it's Daredevil has the unfortunate responsibility of lifting us back up. And so if it stumbles and like drops us, yeah, it's all on them. Optimus Prime Rib says Hamill dropped his drawers during BAFTA while presenting. Hope he wasn't cleaning his lightsaber. Derrickson is cooking. Check out The Gorge. I've heard The Gorge is cool. Seems fun. I'm into second season of Severance now, and that's pretty fun too. But I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. He dropped his drawers? Luke Skywalker was hanging dong? What the hell's going on? What the hell was even that? I don't understand it. I don't even understand it. Okay, let me look at Twitch a little bit so they don't get mad. Let's see here. Charlie says, hi, Josh. Hope the fam is well. 2 questions. 1, when is the first Warhammer 40K podcast dropping? 2, can we get some kind of update for Unity soon? Good news, bad news. Just want to be updated. Much love. Yeah, I should be able to give you an update on both soon. I mean, I'll basically just say, like, when it comes to the podcast, we're trying to just plan properly. And right now, we're trying to find when are we going to record. For me, like, dude, here's the thing that's tough about this. The current thing we're going through with the podcast is, from my perspective, is I want to be fresh and I want to have like really good energy and be all good to go when I record that podcast. It is tough to find the time where I can do that and Matt can do that. So we're trying to figure that out. We're also like building out a structure of like certain episodes, 101 series we want to do, et cetera, et cetera. So we're working on that. As far as Unity is concerned, it feels like every time I get in touch with one part of the team, I lose touch with another part of the team. So I haven't like got everybody on the same page, but we're making ground on issue 3. People have their assignments. They know what they're doing. And then we should be able to get back into chapter 4 very soon. I'm also trying to get the letterer to fix some things from chapter 1 and 2. I've told you guys this before, but I'm really proud of chapter 1 and 2 of Unity, but I do think specifically chapter 1 needs a few changes because it's a little confusing. Like, you're kind of just brought into the world. The narrative jumps around a lot. So I'm kind of like juggling, fixing that, you know, getting an extra page colored and then, you know, changing some of the letters, while then also getting the new artist cooking on the rest of issue 3, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't have a complete update for you, but we are slowly moving in the direction of everybody's back on the same page. Part of the problem is, like, these guys are all freelance, so they're all taking on a lot of extra work. So when we lose track of something and when we lose momentum, they already have other projects and things that they're doing. Some of them are very serious with big deadlines. We're already delayed with Unity. So I'm trying to be lax with the team while also attempting to get us all back on the same page. So yeah. Rodeo Clown says, did you watch Rob's video of how he would have wrote Cap 4? I thought both your and his ideas were insightful. I watched a bit of his video. I don't particularly remember what he said about how he would fix it, but I definitely remember agreeing with a lot of his points as far as like why it was such a stumble. I really believe this one was an important one. And it, like, look, I'm trying to sort of balance holding Marvel to account because I do think it was a big fumble and I do think Cap 4 was an important one and I think they fucked it up. But I'm also trying to balance that with not everything is fucked. They're cooking a whole bunch of other stuff. Maybe they had to do milquetoast Cap 4 and that's the best strategy and they can still build off of it. Totally get it. So I'm trying to kind of balance those two things. Like, I'm really not down with what happened with Cap 4. I really didn't like it. But, you know, I'm going to be there for the next one. I still think there's a lot of juice left in the Marvel brand, and I think Marvel's going to be fire for the rest of the year, hopefully. So, yeah, that's my answer. I didn't actually get to that part in Rob's video where he discussed that, though. Let's see here. I volunteer myself as an extra helper for Unity. Letters and arrangements and even coloring. So what even is your email, sir? Well, if you're really an artist, man, hit me up at thedenofnerds@gmail.com. And hell yeah, hit me up. I'm always looking for help. There's a couple other artists I've been thinking about too. But yeah, hit me up, man. Have you read it? Unity's fire. Like, I think we have something. This is the thing that also sucks about Unity is, we're kind of talking about like mid-ass Captain America 4. I think Unity is literally better. I think it's more interesting. I think it has more interesting characters. I kind of think like when we initially started creating Unity, we were cooking something that like could literally stand up next to some of these other big projects. I think it is that good. I think it has that much juice. The world's cool. The characters are cool. The vibe's cool. The aesthetic's cool. Probably because it's a little bit like Warhammer, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of sucks because it's like, man, I would much rather be working on that, talking about that. But, you got to do what you got to do. Braden says, for Unity, at what point do you get the entire team on a Zoom call and just command the room Doctor Doom style? Cannot wait for the remaining chapters. It's not so easy, actually. It's not so easy to just be able to do that. And, frankly, part of the reason we're delayed is because I had major issues with the first artist. And I would like to not have to replace the artist again. So I'm trying to, like, kind of work through the problems. I'll update you more when I can. And it's definitely a big focus for me. It's something that I think is going to be a huge part of my career going forward. But also at this point, it's like we're so delayed. Like, let's just get it right. It's more important that we get it right. We're at this point, we're basically as delayed as Captain America was. I do not want to have a Captain America experience. As far as when it releases, I do not want to have 50-50 people liking it or not, right? Like, I want a lot of people to be excited about it in the way that I am. So that's kind of the plan. It's kind of the dealy-dally. That's what we got cooking. Anything else, guys? Any other questions, comments, thoughts? I'll hang out just in the chat for a little bit here, but I am going to get out of here pretty soon. We'll be live tonight. We'll be playing some Marvel Rivals together. Dude, I'm excited to try out Iron Man because there's been some buffs. My man got some buffs, man. They're not crazy, but I think they might be enough to kind of push him over the edge. I mean, you guys know my Iron Man game is pretty good. It's pretty good. So I'm excited. I think that's going to be really, really fun. Maybe I'll be playing with some of you guys tonight, too. I'd love to try to get on some ranked, too. I know we can't do that with cross-platform stuff, but, man, that would be cool. Maybe we'll find a bunch of people that play on PC tonight, and we'll lock in on some ranked. Nah, he's still been getting clapped? What? You're not talking about me. I've been killing the game. Ooh, Den of Nerds Customs game. Ooh, that'd be really fun. Justin, can you set that up later tonight? We could do that. We could do that. That'd be really fun. Hey, don't say that, Abe. I'm doing good, man. Fam's good. Gonna be on YouTube or Twitch tonight. We're gonna be on both, but unfortunately, it's just for members. It's not a public stream. Maybe we'll do a public stream later where we stream some Marvels. I've done a few, but this will just be for the members. Just for us hanging out, man. Hanging out, playing some together. It's going to be cool. The patch is Friday, so the nerfs and buffs are then. Ooh, okay. Gotcha. All right, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. As I said at the top, I really wanted to focus on the future today. I wanted to take you through what I think we as fans are about to experience, why I'm still excited, why I'm still hyped up, and why I still think we're going to have so much fun. I mean, the watch parties for Daredevil, that is such a W, man. I'm telling you, if you have not been a part of those, they're incredible, very fun. They're bonding experiences for the community. It's going to be sick. So come on by for the watch parties if you can. I'm excited. And try to be there for the San Diego Comic-Con stream this year. We're going to break records on that stream, man. I really think it's going to be a super big deal. And maybe I'll try to come up with some really fun, unique ideas for it as well. So a lot of good stuff coming out this year. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support. Let's see here. Rossi says, need all the buffs you can get with that one-star hero. How dare you, motherfucker. Philip Hatch with 5 gifted memberships. Holy. Appreciate you, man. So much more nice than Rossi and better in every way than Rossi. You definitely don't want to make it a thing, but you're so much better than Rossi. Oh, yeah. Tell Justin to do a rival streamathon. He should. Justin, do a subathon, man. Do a little Marvel rival subathon. Bronx Warlord, thank you for 5 months over on Twitch. Okay, everybody, I appreciate you. If I don't get out of here now, though, we're going to be here for a long time. So, again, I appreciate it. Thank you for being a part of the show. I hope you enjoyed it if you're listening on the podcast as well. And we'll be back at it tomorrow. A lot of fun news, hopefully dropping. If not, we'll come up with something cool to talk about on stream tomorrow. Really appreciate you. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Oh, Ross, you just gifted 5 memberships right at the end of the recording, right before I cut it off. I should have left this off the podcast so that nobody knew, but I guess I'll give you props. And then C-Dub says Aliens vs. Avengers 3 today. Holy, you guys are killing me, man. The show's over. Don't you understand? It's over. All right, see you. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Leave. It's 7:30 tonight. It's 7:30. Not 7. I'll see you guys there. Yeah, this is kind of a nice tune, isn't it? Yes, I quite enjoy it. Pretty chill, pretty chill, pretty chill. I'm about to go have a lunch, a little Factor. You know, Factor's pretty good. Just gonna be real. I like Factor. Use code 50 Denim Nerds, 50% off, free shipping on your first order. Check it out. Oh, hell yeah, man. Hey, that was a good vibe, huh? Kind of shaking the vibes of Captain America off, getting excited about the future. Isn't that the dopest shit? That's what I'm here for, man. So I enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. I'll see you guys later tonight. Let's get some dubs. Let's show them that the Nerd Vengers mean business. Remember, open up your third eye and wash out your stinky butt. Oh!